Look what I found. A long-standing friend, which is also loved by a long-standing friend. I'm going to use this cushion today. I'm pretty excited. Welcome to our yoga intermission. Today we are focusing on joy. Woo! The joy of falling off our cushion. My name is Karen, obviously closing out the new year with a little bit of goofiness. Coming to you from Salt and Sand Studios, where we've had a little snow overnight, just a little dusting. It's quite lovely. And I'm hoping that you can hear me. There we go. All right, that looks right. Joy. Joy. Spelled other ways in other languages, obviously. What does that mean to you? You know, we talk about joy to the world and have a joyous new year and the sensation of joy. So maybe what we do today, and I know we've done this very recently as well, maybe we find our long spine, our comfortable seat, close our eyes, and consider the last time you brought joy to another being. And for some of us, it might be as simple as coming home from work and the dog is joyous. Might have been a moment when you locked eyes with a stranger and had a common understanding. It might have just been that you held the door for somebody. Or maybe a gift or a treat or a meal that you offered. We often think that we must find joy within ourselves, and that's the only way we can find joy. But sometimes that journey, that road is so dark, is so difficult. If we can just find a teeny bit of initiative to step outside our own selves and do something kind for another, that can bring them joy, and it can also bring us joy. Notice your breath. Feel the energy in the heart space, in the chest. According to the chakra history and teachings and studies, this is the color green. And it is the place of compassion, of kindness, of joy. Kindness doesn't mean, or bringing other people joy does not mean we are a pushover, or that we're weak. In fact, sometimes kindness is difficult to deliver because the best kindness we can do is offer someone the truth. Take a big breath in through your nose. Release it out your mouth. Another inhale. Let it go. And a third time. Drop your chin. Let your head hang heavy. Imagine that the earth's gravity is kind of hugging you behind your neck. So your spine is still tall up through your shoulders and the base of the neck, but then your head is super loose. I'm going to go ahead and make circles with the head if that feels okay for you. Working out a few of the kinks that come from all of the sugar of the holiday. That could be sugar in any form. I noticed last night that our mushy peas that we bought to have with our fish and chips had sugar in them, which made me very sad because there's no need for that other direction if you have not found your way into the other direction. Now we're going to lift the chin so it's parallel to the earth. Shrug the shoulders up to the ears. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Breathe in. Draw the shoulders behind you. Release. 2 more times. Gather your hands behind you. You can always stack them. You can hook your fingers or interlace your fingers. We want to get nice and open across the shoulders. Really spread them wide. Imagine that your shoulders could get larger in this space. Lift, lift, lift the heart. Draw the belly in. Loosen your thighs and calves. And then if it feels okay, you can draw the knuckles down toward the earth. Oh, this feels so good. A beautiful opening across the chest. In the center throat. I can feel the elbows and the shoulder blades working their way toward each other, opening up my biceps. And then if you like, maintain your bind, fold over your legs, and maybe you can float your hands bound up off your spine. Nod your head and shake your head. And we release, rising up. Arms float up. Right out of the shoulders. And we're going to take small circles forward. Starting to loosen up the shoulders, bring some extra blood into the hands. We're going backward now. And then mid-size forward. It's all relative, right? You could have started really tiny, so your mid-size might be my small size. And then we do that backward. Little smile on our faces. We're flying. And then forward, bigger circles. Take your time. If you have any props in the way, move them. And we're going to take it the opposite direction. Nice. Hands at your heart. Quick scan of the body, noticing any place that's feeling tight, that's holding on to an emotion that maybe is a little uncomfortable. And then harness that sensation of joy, or maybe it's not joy yet. Maybe it's sort of a kernel of joy. Maybe it's kindness, or maybe it is, I don't know, comfort. Harness that. And anywhere in the body that needs a little loosening or a little extra love or a little kindness, send that feeling there. Now we'll set an intention for the remainder of this practice, and we'll use the sound of Om, silent or a full chant, for a full vocal chant, to seal that in for the remainder of our practice. We're going to take a cleansing breath first. Followed by Om. We're going to move into a little torso twist, and then we're just going to test ourselves out in a seated figure 4, because we're going to do that at the end of practice as well. So first, you can come off your cushion if that makes sense, but you don't have to. You're going to go ahead and bring the feet as wide as your mat. Hands are by your sides. Fingers point either left and right or forward. And the knees come toward each other. I'm actually going to point my fingers backward. And then we're going to move the knees left and right, moving any props or items out of the way that we need to. Again, maybe a little smile on the face, because face movement, the muscle movement, the mindful encouragement can actually cause you to move from a neutral to a joy. All righty. Knees point back up. I'm going to remove my cushion now. Oh, we love this red cushion with the stripes. And we're going to bring the bottom a little farther away from the heels and cross the right ankle above the left knee. And then press your chest toward your shin. Yes, my inner thigh, my hamstrings feel a little tight. You're going to activate that right foot. Draw the shoulders away from your ears and draw the belly in, but keep the bottom on the mat. We're going to breathe here for 5. Beautiful. We're going to unhook from here. Hopefully you'll remember that by the time we get to the end of the class, or at least a general sense of it. We're going to take it the other direction. Left ankle above the right knee. We want the right knee pointing straight to the sky. For me, this is tighter in the outer glutes. I think that's the gluteus medius. And we're going to sit up, bring the soles of the feet together, a nice big diamond inside the legs. Sit up really tall. Let the knees drop out, draw the belly in. Lower the shoulders from the ears. I always think about that as, am I wearing an extra pair of earrings? I don't really need to. And now we scoot the wrists under the ankles. Let the hands come to the tops of the feet or the tops of the ankles. Shift the heart forward. Roll your spine, drop your head. Let your elbows send the thighs and knees away and down. Rise up. We're going to cross the ankles, roll over them, and we are going to come to a child's pose. Meet me in St. Louis. Meet me at the child's pose. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Sitting bones toward the heels. You want to feel this in the armpits. All along the sides of the body and along the spine. Maybe you rock your head left and right. If you set your intention, bring it back to mind. If you did not, set it here. We're going to bring the palms together with the pinky fingers on the mat. Drop the head again. Bend your elbows so the fingers come to the nape of the neck or between your shoulder blades. And maybe you feel this in your triceps and your armpits. And if you don't, one at a time, walk the elbows forward, but keep the sitting bones working toward your heels. If you like, you can always interlace your fingers or twinkle them like the stars. We're going to work our way into sitting on our heels. And if that is too much of a bend in your knees, you can always take a prop or a sweater or something, roll it up and put it behind your knees. If your knees hurt, you can always fold over your mat. But we want the knees together and the big toes together. The hands are on the thighs. We're going to take lion pose. This is one of my favorite for building some heat using the breath. So I'm going to take a nice big breath in. And when you force the air out of your mouth, your tongue also releases and your eyes open really wide. So we take a big breath in. And our cats and cows from here. I don't think a cow can kneel, but a horse can to a certain extent. Can a cat kneel? All right, we're going to come to tabletop. We're going to take one of my favorite sequences for power and for stretch. We're going to go ahead and stretch the right leg along behind us, but keep the ball of the foot on the ground. Push, push, push into the heel. And if you like a little rocking motion, go ahead and do that. Open up the toes, the soles of the foot, the calf, the heel. Pause with the shoulders over the wrists. Square up your hips. And now, keeping the glutes really tight and the belly nice and strong, go ahead and float that leg off the mat. Reach the heel behind you. Press the top of the left foot into the earth. Reach the left arm long in front. And we pause here. Working our balance, knee draws to the elbow. We're going to do this 3 times. Take your time. The slower you go, the more intentional you are, the more you'll get out of the posture and the movement. If you like, quad stretch, bending into the right leg, reaching around with the left hand to take a hold of the foot or the ankle. And then you press the foot or ankle into your hand and reach your heart forward. Breathing here, 3, 2, and 1. Left hand comes down, right leg extends. We're going to take our hip stretch, sweeping the right leg above the left calf. So the top of the right foot is coming outside your mat, to the left side of your mat. You're going to scoot backwards, sliding the foot and the leg and the hips until the front of your right hip is close to your left heel. It's sort of a precursor to pigeon, but it is not a pigeon. Press into your forearms, make space between your shoulder blades. Dynamic tension as if you're dragging the mat backward with your arms and your hands. And then we tuck the right toes under, float the knee off the mat, and reach that heel farther away from us. Return to a 3-legged tabletop. The right knee draws toward the right tricep. Drop your head. Extend. Drop your knee. If you need some movement, some waggles, cats and cows, I need to move my arms around. Take that here. Now we're going to move into some rich stretches. They're very rich for your wrists, but we're going to move into those before we take that to the other side. So you might sit a little back or all the way back on your heels. The backs of the hands come to the earth with the fingers facing your knees. Then move upward. And if you like, a little rock and roll forward and backward. Start stretching the outer wrists here, the tops of the arms. And then we're going to flip. Palms on the earth. Fingers can point either left and right, depending on how far they can go. Or it might work for your fingers to point more toward your knees. And again, a little rocking motion. This time we are opening up the inner wrists, a little bit of thumb, the inner arms and elbows. And now we're going to move to the other side with our tabletop sequence. Hands back down, fingers nice and wide, left leg extends, ball of the foot is on the earth. Whatever you need to do here, maybe with motion or without, we're opening up the calf, the sole of the foot, the toe knuckles, heel, shoulders over the wrists, square up your hips, squeeze your left hamstrings and glutes, and use the belly and those muscles to float the leg up. Heel reaches long behind you. Belly is super strong. Top of the right foot gives you balance. Press it to the earth. Right arm floats out. And we stay here. Elbow and knee come together. We extend long. Taking our time, we do that 2 more rounds. Into your quad stretch. And your outer hip opening. Left toes tuck under, the knee floats off the mat, reach the heel farther away from you. Shoulders over the wrists, knee toward the left tricep. Extend, drop the knee, find your cats and cows, waggles, other movement, maybe even a child's pose. Back into table, hands move forward a couple of inches, toes tuck under, hips shift upward, downward dog. Take your time finding this posture and allow yourself to explore, to find a little bit of joy. Maybe the joy is in the toe or the belly or the breath. Draw up onto the tiptoes, bend your knees a lot, look past your hands, make your way to them. A walk, a skip, a hop, a jump, forward fold, ragdoll, elbows bend, and a hand gently cups each elbow. See if you can keep this sort of frame with your arms, with your head in it, as you rise up to standing, such that the forearms come over the head. You might need a little bit more space. So you might need to move the hands closer to the wrists. So now we're upright. We're going to find a little rock and roll around on the feet. See if you can bring your chin parallel to the earth. We're nice and tall. The shoulder blades draw together. We're going to take an exhale and a tilt over to the right. Opening up the left rib cage, imagining the bottom of the insides of a canoe, all that space between the ribs, beautifully rounded, making space for the lungs. Well, not in a canoe, but inhale, rise up, and tilt to the other side. Rise up, arms overhead. We're going to find a little, it's sort of like a Tai Chi or a Qigong and a chair sort of movement. So we're going to whoosh the breath out of the mouth, moving into a sort of chair pose with the arms behind us, and then we'll inhale up to standing. And begin. Whoosh. And this time we rise up and remain. Bring the arms into a cactus shape. Beautiful. Make sure you catch your breath if you've come out of a cadence. We're going to take a twist. We're going to bring the left arm long in front and the right arm behind us with our gaze moving toward our right thumb. Loosen the shoulders, activate the triceps, draw the belly in, and make sure you're on all four corners of both feet. We're going to do a little back bend, so we're going to drop the right hand either to the left cheek or the left thigh and lift the left arm, finding our back bend, breathing. Rise up, front and center, forward, east-west pose, other side. Right arm forward, left arm back. And we'll reverse. Left hand down, right arm high. And we rise up. Take another whoosh. And a fold. Halfway lift. And a forward fold. Vinyasa. High plank. Maybe knees down for your low plank. A back bend, and a downward facing dog. 3 breaths here or in table or child's pose, your choice. Then make our way back to the front of the mat for a forward fold. Rise halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. Long spine. And fold, yogi toe lock. You might bring your feet a little bit wider for that. Release your hands, bring your feet a little bit wider, not quite as wide as your mat. Time for an IT band stretch. So the left fingertips come to the mat under your nose. The left knee bends. We keep the right leg as straight as possible and float the right arm high, or bring the heel of the right hand to the low back. If you do not feel this in the outside of the right leg, you're going to bring your feet closer together. Maybe, if you're still not feeling it, you straighten your left leg. And then we make sure that we're actually twisting from the belly rather than the shoulder. It's like a half lift twist, a half list. No, let's not list. And we take it to the other side. Exhale, hands to the earth. Heel toe your feet back toward one another. Half lift into a forward fold and rise to standing. Meeting with the arms first overhead and then the hands together at your heart samasthihi. Close the eyes. Notice something about this posture that brings you joy or maybe a teeny tiny bit of comfort. Maybe it's the connection to the earth, the grounding of the lower part of the body. Sturdy and stable, firm. Or maybe it's a connection with space and consciousness, the top of the head, the crown of the head. The unique ability for humans to observe themselves. Drop your hands, inhale, sweep them up nice and high. Chair pose, Utkatasana. I'm going to hook my thumbs here because I want to make a little fan. Or maybe it's like a turkey tail. Imagine you're holding a block between your thighs. Inhale, rise to standing. Breathe out, forward fold. We're going to move into our runner's lunge after a half lift, the left foot to the back of the mat. If you feel more stable in a warrior one back foot, feel free because now we're going to hover over our right thigh. Arms reach behind us. We're like the statue on the bow of a ship. Heart open, belly strong. And then we rise up into our warrior, either crescent or warrior one. Slowly, we're going to bring the back knee down to the mat. Untuck the toes, Anjaneyasana. If you find more of a back bend in a cactus shape or with your hands by your sides, go for it. East-west pose, again, left arm forward, right arm behind. Make sure the big toe mound of that right foot is pressing to the earth. We're going to reverse this again, right hand down, left arm high. Maybe sink a little deeper into your front foot, opening up your psoas on the left side. That's your hip flexor. Deepening our twist, left hand down, right arm high. Nice gentle flow. Right hand down to the mat. Tuck your back toes under. Lift your back knee, runner's lunge. Step forward, forward fold. Rise up to standing. Cactus shape arms once again. And we sit into chair pose, Utkatasana. Somebody said one night during the week, I doing a private class and for a family. And one of the yogis yelled out, Karen's favorite pose. And I said, do you remember why? And she said, yeah, because of what it's called, but I can't remember what it's called. Utkatasana. Hands drop to the low back, stack or hook the fingers or interlace the fingers. Knuckles draw down. We're still in chair. We're going to rise to the balls of the feet. Sink down a little bit. Nice balance. Heels draw down. We're still in chair. And we take our fold. And maybe the bound hands lift away from the back. Maybe they don't. Hands release to the earth, halfway lift. Runner's lunge, right foot behind this time. Set up your stance. You could go into a warrior one back foot if that is steadier for you. For balance, you might move the feet apart left and right. We move into our hovercraft. Oh, so powerful. So full of joyous, gorgeous breath. Rise up, crescent warrior or warrior one. Slowly, the back knee touches down. Landing. We have connection. Toes untuck. Cactus arms or arms by your side if that works better for you. East-west pose, right arm forward, left arm behind. Reverse. Sink deeper into your front knee. East-west pose again. And then the right hand down, the left arm high. Left hand down, runner's lunge. Step forward, forward fold. Halfway lift. And a forward fold, runner's lunge, left foot to the back of the mat. Left foot comes down like a warrior two placement. So the back foot is parallel to the back of the mat and the leg is strong. Right hand comes inside your right foot on your fingertips, and we slowly peel the left arm open, extended side angle. Rise up, use the belly, warrior two, nice work. Adjust if you need to. Front palm flips, so we can reverse this warrior. Juicy bend in your front knee. If you like a half bind, take it. We're going to move into a side angle. No weight on that bottom arm. If you like a half bind or a full bind, take it here. We'll breathe here. 5, 4, 3, 2. Return to warrior two. Straighten your front leg. Shorten your stance a little bit. We'll take a reverse. So it's a reverse triangle. And then we'll move into Trikonasana, triangle. Arms nice and wide and strong. We shift that front arm forward till it can't go forward anymore. Keep your shoulders and your hips stacked and then drop your hand. It does not matter how low the hand gets. Mine's pretty high. My spine is popping all over the place, getting all the lines, scrunching it up and then unscrunching it. Back to warrior two. Nice. Reverse your warrior. Hands windmill down around your front foot. Pause. Step forward, forward fold. Rise up to standing. Chair pose. Utkatasana. Utkatasana. This time a little balance. If it helps to bring your hands to your heart, feel free. We're going to shift the weight onto the right foot and float the left knee up. And breathe. Single point of focus, Drishti, about 4 to 6 feet in front of you on the ground. 3, 2, and 1. Take it to the other side. Take your time. Set yourself up. We're in chair, and the right knee lifts. And if you fall out of it, it's just yoga, so you'll go back into it again. 3, 2, and 1. Rise up, forward fold. Halfway lift. Forward fold, runner's lunge, right foot at the back of the mat. Get nice and powered up and strong. Back foot comes parallel to the back of the mat. The left hand comes inside the right foot. Peel open your right arm, extended side angle. Rise up, warrior two. I always have to check. I look into the monitor to make sure I am having my shoulders over my hips. Flip the front palm for a reverse. Half bind if you like it. Side angle. Half or full bind if that makes sense for you. Back up to a warrior two. Extend your front leg, reverse. Shorten your stance if need be for triangle. We bring the arms straight out, front and back. Shift that left arm forward, forward, forward. You're moving at the hip, but you're not sending your booty backward. Left hand down, right arm high. Bend your front knee. Return to your warrior two for a reverse. And windmill your hands down. Pause. Drop your left foot back to meet your right. Plank. See if you can take a low plank and then push back up. Knees will come down to the mat. And then we're actually going to move all the way down to the mat. So extend one leg and then the other leg coming to a sphinx pose, a sphinx back bend. If your low back bothers you, you might bring your feet a little bit wider. Press the bony hips to the earth. Lift the navel. Press into the mat, drag it backward, lower your shoulders and breathe for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All the way down to the mat. You can turn your left cheek to bring your left ear to the mat. Arms can come into a cactus shape. Turn your head the other way. Bring your forehead to the earth. Bring your hands either outside your chest or closer to your ribs. We're going to move into a cobra. It can be a baby cobra, a big giant cobra, your choice. On an inhale, belly in, heart forward. We press into the arms. You might even take an up dog. And we breathe here. 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All the way down to the mat. We take a little break. All right, fingers onto the ground outside your mat. Your elbows are pointing upward like Batwoman. So it's kind of like, what's it called? Not Cousin It. Oh, Thing from the Addams Family. Each hand is like Thing. And we're going to take a back bend. We have to use the belly a lot for this. So first, press the bony hips to the earth. So that might lengthen your tailbone a little. That's what we want. Press the tops of the feet to the earth. Draw the navel in, and on an inhale, heart, chest, ribs, maybe some of the belly forward and up. And we breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All the way down to the mat and into a child's pose. Hands walk back toward your hips. You might move a little forward on your mat. Coming to a seat at the center of the mat, we'll move into a twist. And because it's almost New Year's Eve, we're going to do our little party move today. So we're going to start with the right heel underneath the right thigh, as close to your glutes as possible. You might need to stay like this, or if you can, just try it. Bring a little joy. Little fun. Cross the left ankle outside the right thigh. You might scoot that right heel a little closer. Left hand is behind you. We sit up tall on the breath in and twist on the breath out. Some of you will be able to draw your right elbow outside your left thigh. Some of you might decide to take a bind. Tall on the breath in. Twist on the breath out. Shoulders away from the ears. Inhale, front and center. Okay, you ready for the party move? So now we're going to work both feet as much on the ground as possible because the feet roughly stay where they are. You bring your hands to this right hip, so the side that the left foot is on, and then you lift your bottom, spin around to the back, and all the way back to the front, and you are roughly in the same posture on the other side. And if you didn't get it, don't worry about it. The best thing about it is it makes you laugh. A little bit of joy. So right hand behind us, we sit up tall, and we twist. Inhale, and twist. One more round. We come front and center, extend the legs in front for Paschimottanasana, our seated double-legged forward fold. I'm putting a little bend in my knees. You could always put a prop under there. Arms reach out, they lock back into the shoulders. Breathe in and shift forward. Breathe in. Shift forward. It's like you're reaching your heart and your nose and your fingertips way, way, way past your toes. And one last posture. Well, it's asymmetrical, so it's one on each side. As I promised you, we're sitting back up. Bring the feet to the ground, the hands behind us. Feet not quite as wide as your mat. Cross the right ankle above the left. And if you can sit up and maybe hug that shin in. So I'm definitely more open than I was at the beginning of practice. Yay! The body, the mind, the heart, that little bit of joy in at least a few poses. I found it in most of them. I hope you did too. Chest toward your shin, shin toward your chest. Ah, that feels so good. It's like a Saturday morning gift. All right, we're going to unhook and take that to the other side. Not quite as loose on this side, but looser than I was. So I'm going to take a little joy in that. Chest toward your shin, shin toward your chest. And here we are, all together as we sing our song, joyfully. That's from grammar school. Come all the way down to your back. You might hug your knees in or reach your legs toward the sky just for a couple of minutes, maybe not even minutes, couple of breaths. Maybe a little rock left and right, because it is time for the sheer joy of Shavasana. Whatever feels right for you, if sitting up is better or if bending your knees is better, go for it. I'm taking traditional, long on the mat, shoulder blades connected, heels heavy, backs of the hands on the ground. Big breath in and out. A big, huge cleansing breath. And then return to a seated position, taking your time. Tomorrow, if you're watching this live or if you're working on it on the 30th of December, tomorrow is New Year's Eve. So we're on the eve of the new year. So let's go ahead and press the palms together, close our eyes, and consider the feeling, the definition, the sensations of joy. Now we'll send some of the merit of this practice and perhaps a sense of joy out into the world to all living beings. We'll use Om to do so. Could be silent or an out loud chant. Breathe all the air out of your lungs and inhale deeply. Thumb knuckles connect right at the third eye center, the middle of the forehead. May all beings know joy and the causes of joy. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they live with compassion, with kindness, and with care for one another. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me this year. I think I'm going into maybe the third year on YouTube video. Wow. Anyway, I hope 2024 is joyous for you. And I look forward to seeing you soon. My name is Karen. If you have the funding, please donate on our website, saltandsandstudios.com. And if you happen to be in the area, check the schedule, drop in. You could even potentially have a private class. I can generally accommodate many times. I hope to see you soon. Thank you.